So, got first place at my friend's local. Want to play mat and gave it to him because I just wanted to test out a theory, and that theory was: do people side in for what's being played against the meta or what they might come across, or do you side in for what's normally being played at your locals? My locals knows me, so whether I'm playing my Exodia deck or my Arcana Knights of Raw deck, they side in for these decks because I've beaten most of them, if not all of them. And they side in cards to stop me because they know I'm a very good player. And the way I play is not ordinary. So I had a theory of they only side in cards to stop me because they see me and play me on a normal basis. So you're going to want to side in for what you're facing on a normal basis. So I wanted to test out a theory which I got first place in another locals, and that's how I won my Arcana Knight playmat. And the main reason I also won that is everybody there was like, "Oh, we don't know what deck you play or how you play your deck," so that's what caught them off guard. The element of surprise of not knowing that let me win my playmat for the Arcana Knights, and I wanted to test that again by playing my Exodia build somewhere else. So I won the playmat that my boy wanted, and two of us is heightens the chance of us winning what he wanted. So nobody sided in or had side main deck or side deck options to stop my deck. So it just let me have control and just draw like crazy. And again, they were surprised at how I was playing and what I was playing, and they were just amazed. So my theory in turn kind of worked out where when you go to your locals and you're playing your deck, whatever deck you're playing, and you're facing the same people, they're gonna side in what's needed to stop your deck so they can beat you, not what's being played around the world, or just in case you run into this player. But if that kind of a player doesn't play at their locals, then you're not going to side in for that person unless they magically, like me, randomly just show up one day and say, "Hey, I'm gonna mix things up and I want to playtest two things," but I didn't tell them what I was playtesting. So, and to show when cards come out over time, when it comes to my deck specifically, or any of the decks I play, I keep in mind a card that might be good for it, but it came out before its time. So Appropriate came out a long time ago. And then when I went to the mall with my boy, Gil, we bought a few packs, and at that time, the pack that came out with One Day a Piece just dropped. And as soon as I opened that pack and I saw One Day a Piece and read what it did, is like it's protection from being burned or direct damage, like from being OTK'd, and you draw a card freely with no backlash or nothing to worry about of it stopping Appropriate from being activated. So you would activate, even if this is set. This was at 3 when it first dropped, and then Appropriate was already out. So it's like, all right. So even if you have two of these and one of these, it's like you play One Day a Piece. You draw a card, you set, you survive that turn because this is what makes you survive. And unless they destroy this, then you play your second One Day a Piece. This would, you can activate it. You won't draw initially, even though at first you could, when it first came out. But then they changed the ruling of when it's first activated, it misses its drawing time. But you can activate it, but it misses its drawing because your opponent is no longer drawing. So let's say you have another One Day a Piece. You could play it after it's initially activated, and then you draw one, and then this gives you a free draw two, Dark World Dealings, all these other cards, and then the main card I used to set this up on my opponent's turn so I can activate One Day a Piece on my turn was Book of Eclipse. You can see it in my Exodia Appropriate deck 2013 build, and it went untouched for a while before One Day a Piece got hit, and most of the cards I played got hit because I played it a certain way, and I kept beating all top decks at my locals and when I played my friends in the park. everybody was lining up to say, "Hey, I think I could beat your Exodia deck," and everybody lined up, and everybody got obliterated until it got hit. And then after a while, it's like your deck becomes obsolete because of the ban list, or new cards are coming out, the meta changes, so then this became obsolete. But Book of Eclipse was a good way to play this because they only summon one card at a time. Book of Eclipse, they go face down. On their end turn, they draw a card. Then you can activate Appropriate, and then you can go off on your turn. So you can go look at my Appropriate 2013 build. But then, I just feel like the way time is now, especially with Ash and everything, like, it's just changed. So this became obsolete. Later on, I waited. Draw of Fate came out. Then I was like, this is kind of perfect the way I foresaw it with this. And again, I put this up, and everybody started teching it in once I showed what I did with it for my Exodia build at regionals and everything. So it became a staple if you're going the Mystic Mine route, because this is a very risky card where you can stack any 3 cards on top of your deck, but your opponent has to have the stronger monster and you have to have the lower life points. So it's like, and then after its activation, you can stack any 3, draw 1, and then you can only activate 1 card effect for the rest of that turn. So I saw this card, and then I saw its potential with this, and I was like, all right, wait. Something's going to come out where I can utilize this to its max and I'll be safe. And what happened, like 2 or 3 months later, Mystic Mine came out. So this assures that they can have the strongest monster in the field. They can have the higher light points. So we can play this, and then if they have no out to this, we can play this safely. And then even with this, it'll be like 4 turns you could summon Exodia. I've had videos up. So then I had these, and then the meta changed again with what's being played. So I left my Exodia deck alone for a minute, and then I was playing this card, which is a draw card. Discard 5, draw 2, and then for the rest of the duel, as long as it's on the field, you're drawing 2 cards instead of 1 for your draw phase. But then Revival of the Sky Guard came out, and I was like, I wanted Slifer to be in a deck, but it's like he has no protection for himself or anything. And then I was like, wait, this might have protection, and then he's going to destroy himself at the end turn anyways. So then in my head, Slifer with this card was popped up, and then I saw Exodia with the package I had, and I was like, there's a missing link. But then it's like I was playing with this in my raw deck. I'm like, I think this is the link I need to merge the deck together and actually play an updated draw 8 Exodia deck, and then just maintain control. And then this speeds it up instead of drawing 1 card. And like, let's say you're stuck in a, just you draw 1, they draw 1. Like with this card is like you're gonna draw 2, speeding out your deck, and then this is just a +6. So it's like I'll show a video at the end. I'm like, it's just freaking broken. So it's like, over time, this was my 2 combo pieces, my key cards to summon Exodia. Then this package became my way to get to Exodia, and now it's all of this integrated together. And I try to go for these 2 first, with Slifer and card destruction, while having Mystic Mine for protection. So this would just draw out 8 cards, or 6, and then you get rid of, but whatever it is, to just help you draw more for control of the board. And then this was set up. This is perfect for setting up because you could play one. You could play Draw Fate, to search out these 2, or search out, like, even if you just had this card, you mimed them, you took damage, you play Draw Fate, and you search out Slifer the Sky Dragon, Card Destruction, and Revival of the Sky God. That way, you draw 1, you wait to draw the other 2, so then you set this, you pass turn, you draw, hopefully it's nothing, you play the Card Destruction, now you have Slifer in the graveyard, you draw 2 off of that because you drew another card, and then even if, let's say, both of those are settable, you'll set them, you could play Revival the Sky God, draw 6 cards, Slifer comes back, he pops himself at the end, and then Mystic Mine stays in full effect, you drew 6, and then if you play this, get rid of 5 of the other cards you don't want. Unless you have cards to control the board, just set those and then just wait. Or speed it out. Like, it's so much. And I just love being the original player of my decks, and other people could pilot your deck, but they won't know how it really works on a higher level because you're the creator. They could net deck all they want, they could watch videos all they want, come up with ideas or want to try out your deck, but it's like you're the creator, so it's like nobody's gonna know how to play your deck your way and different options of playing it. And I'm gonna showcase two videos of, one route and another route that I played, and nobody sees it coming. So we'll get into the profile real fast. We have the 5 pieces of Exodia. The deck's pointless if we don't have it because it's an Exodia deck. Then I am running 2 Slifer the Sky Dragons. I know if you're tired of me playing this. I play this in both of my decks, my Raw Knights of Arcana Knights and my Exodia deck, because like it's free getting back everything, and you can, when you attack, you drop any card to the graveyard, so you can basically foolish Slifer. So it's like you'll take damage, even if you put a piece of Exodia to your deck, link it, use him, put it back to the deck, bring him out, attack, send Slifer to the graveyard, you take damage, so it's like they're still on the Mystic Mine, you took damage, they have the strongest monster in the field, Draw Fate is now live, Slifer's in the graveyard, Revival the Sky God is live, and so forth. Silent Wabi at 3. So you can special summon and just mime is live on your turn. You had 2,000 light points, so you're good. If they have a full board or you just want to go first and lock things, you could play this card. And no cards on the field can activate their effects except Spirit Monster. So I like summoning this and just playing Upstart and my draw power and setting up, because you can't get ashed with him on the field. Like, there's nothing that can do. And even if you had Slifer in your hand, hand destruction in your hand, and you set Revival the Sky God, like this, you don't have to worry about them ashing anything. You just summon him, play card destruction, and you can just go from there. And that's it for the monster lineup. So it's like the spells. We have our 3 Draw Fate. And I'm going to put them in order of engines of how I'm playing them. We have the Upstart to help set it up. Like you could even Mystic Mime, Silent Wabi, second, so that way you don't get the XP. Then play Upstart. They get the light points. Now Mystic Mine's on the field. They have the monster and the higher light points, and this is live. So it's like if you have all 4 in your hand, you just go from there. One day a piece. It's at 1. It helps speed out the deck too. If you have the combo, but otherwise, if you set up what I told you before, you're good. 1 card destruction, like I said. Then for Slifer's draw is I run 3 Revival of the Sky Gods. So this is all your draw power. Like this is draw control. Like you're searching out what you want. 3 cards, you're setting them up top, shuffling, and you're drawing 1. So like this is your control draw. And then this is just your draws, and your draw 6. This also helps set up, and you can draw cards and blah blah blah. 2 Guarded Treasure. You discard up to 5 cards, and then for the rest, for that activation, you discard 5 and you draw 2 right away. So it's like a pot of greed by ditching 5 cards in your hand. So if you have useless cards in your hand, you already have the field you want, or even Mystic Mine, you just want to go faster, you could just ditch the other 5. You're drawing 2. They're under mime, so it's like you don't have to worry about being ashed. But then even if your hand goes negative, like you have this to just replenish your hand. And if you do it in combination, like you discard and you already have this set up, like this sends as cost. So you could send Slifer to the graveyard as cost with 5 other cards, and then you have nothing in your hand, and then chain Revival of the Sky Gods. You're drawing 6, and then 2 more for 8 off of these 2 being activated together. 1 Dark Factory or more production. You can get rid of any unnecessary cards in your hand to draw a card. Not only that, is there's times they've impermed me or done something to negate his effect. So he would stay on the field. So let's say that was to blow up Mystic Mine. I like using this card once it's on the field to even draw further, because even if I had these 2 cards set already and I played this to discard my whole hand, I can play Slifer, Revive the Sky God, bring back Slifer, draw 6. I'm drawing the other 2 that I discard since I discarded my hand for this. That's 7, 8, and then use this to send Slifer from the field as cost to the graveyard to draw a 9th card. And then you're drawing 9 cards. You should have control or Exodia by then. So it just fixes the problem of sometimes Slifer being stuck on the field, and you just get rid of him, draw a card, and even if that's not the case, you still have monsters in hand. Once you already have control, you can just get rid of the cards in hand, the monsters, and draw 1 more card. 3 Mystic Mine. That's your order protection, so that they can't do crap to hurt you, to say, your life. To search them out. Terraforming. Even if they have a whole full field, you summon that monster. They can't activate monster effects. And especially if they're a deck that's just monster effects. Like, I've faced everybody who had a board, and they're like, alright, try to lock me with Exodia. I'm like, alright, summon, terraforming, search out Mystic Mine, set Mystic Mine, end turn, that bounces back to your hand. They're stuck on the Mystic Mine by themselves. Metaverse, just another card just to get out to the field. 3 Demise of the Land. Every deck special summons. Almost every deck special summons. So you can just get these out on their turn. That can be ashed or something, so you got to be careful, but why not have another way of bringing it out? Then we have your protection, your Solemn Judgments, to protect your mime, and also this lowers your life points while Mystic Mine's in effect, so that you can play Draw Fate. Like, that's one of your main key card for your combos, to just set everything up and go from there. 1 Imperial Iron Wall, so now it could be banished, and people like to play Cosmic Cyclone over MST or anything, so once it's in play, they can't even use it at all, or they can't banish anything. And 1 Harpies to clear back row for a 40 card deck. And that's it for the main deck. The side deck's extremely small. And it's just, this is just in case. So there's time you're going to have Slifer on the field, and you can get the Exodius on the field. So 1 number 35, the life points difference, you'll gain as attack. So even if you wanted to go offensively, which it's rare, but it does happen, I'll show you a video. And even if you got negated, just put a 4K beater on the field by overlaying on top for free. And what I meant by, even if you had Exodius and let's say a Limb of Exodia, you could summon the Limb of Exodia, tribute, send the Limb of Exodia to the graveyard for Amaraj. And then since the piece of Exodia is in the graveyard, you send it to your deck as cost to special summon Exodius. And then once Exodius hits the field, you can chain to target Exodius, and he can be destroyed by card effects. So that way, instead of having 2 monsters on the field, just in case they have 2, you chain, you'll have 1 still, and you'll take damage, run in, send Slifer to the graveyard, and you can safely go into your plays, like Draw Fate and so forth. So, and if that's not the case, you don't have Exodius on the field, but you want the Limb and Graveyard or whatever it is, Linkaribo. If they put a powerful monster in the wrong spot and you just want to take it, relinquish Enema. And there was a funny ass duel I did with that, and they summoned a real powerful monster, knowing I only had, knowing what I was running, and they were trying to play around Mystic Mine, so they summoned a real powerful monster. I summoned a piece of Exodia, relinquished, took their monster. I set another Mystic Mine. I set it so I could attack. It was like 4K, and then I played the trap, summoned Slifer. He was at 6K and just attacked for game. So I was like, you can wait to summon Exodia, or if you see an opportunity just to go OTK, just go for it. And that's about it. Oh, let me show you the video. So, give me 1 second. Hope I didn't say all of that for nothing. Put the sound on for it. So he negates, which is all fine. So it's funny, I'm gonna just win with this card. In a way you probably wouldn't think. Draw Fate. So that's what I meant, you can set up. It's all good, it's all good. Summon, play Mystic Mine. So in here, I'm gonna pause for a second. You only can activate one more card effect. So I don't know what the hell happened where he should have been able to come back to hand. And Mystic Mine would have been safely locking him out. So I don't know what happens. There are some cheaters on here, and they'll message you, haha, what's the matter? You can't do nothing, because they hacked the program to not let you be able to do anything or fix things so that they win by cheating. But either way, I play Draw Fate. Since I summon, he can't play nothing to stop Mystic Mine. Even if this negates, he can't do nothing because only spirit monsters get their effect. So in here, in this situation, I played, I set up, I drew a card. I was only able to activate one more effect afterwards, so his effect activates the bounce, which I should have gotten. So Mystic Mine dropped by itself, and then he still stays on the field, so it's like, I don't know what happened. So next turn, I drew card destruction. I go for game here. Hand destruction, I mean. Get rid of his back row. And wait, nothing. Check field. I went into Slifer, summon Exodia. It's not an activated effect, it's a special summoning condition. Then I went into him, powering up my monsters by a lot. And then since he was already stuck on the field, I brought out a second one, which powered him up. And then once my life points went lower than his life points, I still get the gain. So I still gained and just OTK'd him, like I said, with what I needed. And you would have never thought this coming out of my Exodia build. So I'm gonna show you the perfect setup. So instantly I thought this is the perfect hand. Mime, Wabi, set, card destruction. I wanted to gain the life points just in case. Card destruction to graveyard, and now I'll revival the Sky God. It's live, and I was like, perfect. I joined to another one. I used this effect right away because I want to draw 6. Free hand. I could have got rid of them for Guardian Treasure, but like I said, I wanted Control the Field, and just in case they removed, they're not going to be able to remove anymore, and that worked out perfectly. And they kept going. We have our second. Not only that, Slifer just went up to 8,000. Then pops himself. Now we're going to play it. Now every turn after this, during our standby, I'll draw phase. Instead of drawing 1, we draw 2. And I put everything back to regain control. Now the only problem I have here is I have more life points. So we have to get rid of that life points, and that was an older build, but this is the perfect setup, so that's why I'm showing it. Now I did not know if I special summon him, I could negate him with Judgment. If so, I would have did that first, just so that I can play draw fate. And here I just search out the other 2. I draw 1. The other 2 are on top, so game. And these are me, like my other video was me just summoning Exodia on all the meta decks. So just play what you love. Like, don't abandon your deck because you just want wins. Like, this is supposed to be a hobby and something to do for fun that you love. So just make what you love relevant. And that's it. My Slifer Exodia deck profile.